First things first, I'm going to pop that hole before I do anything else. Stuck me a rivet in that hole there. And I have a reference point to keep everything lined up. Keep my corners lined up down here. I can feel the edge underneath here. Flip back, just double check. Right back there. You want everything to stay lined up where it was. That should be good right there. Now I'm going to use a pencil for this. I know I want to come down from here with my stitches all the way down. Another rivets right here. And I'll mark this with a marker after and a straight edge. Well down beyond the point. I want a well-defined case here. I almost don't have enough down there. Stop it up in there so the stitches don't get cut. There's that serrated edge. And we'll put a rivet in there too, right there. Now I'll go over this with a straight edge and a dark marker and then get that cut. All I need is a light line. I'll go in straight lines all the way around because that's what my punch does for my threads. Straight lines pretty much. I'm skipping a spot because obviously I can't punch threads through steel. In the end I'll also finish with a rivet down there too. And I'll just skip straight across with my stitch. I had a little mark here and down here. This is where my belt loop's going. That's got to get glued down. I don't want to cut that edge clean up against this edge, so that's something I have to cut first. Later I'll trim the rest of it with the rest of the case so it'll look good and clean. Yeah, I got my nice clean edge here, so I don't have to cut it later. I'm going to run a slight pencil mark down through that because I need to glue. So all needs to get glued, and if I rough it just a touch, that glue will take just that much better. I don't want to go beyond that line though. I also need to shave this edge of hair just to transition it down in so that case will fit better. It's easier for me to do it out on the edge of the table. Doesn't have to be perfect, just get it close. Just looking to make sure that is going to miss. Now I got to punch off, I got to glue it up. I'm only going to glue one edge first, and then I'll start stitching it, then we'll glue the back edge. If you go to gluing everything all at once with my design here, then your knife will not only not fit, but you need to get your belt loop flipped around in proper form, and it's just easier when everything's locked in the front, and then you glue it everything at once in the back and then stitch it all up, and you'll see what I'm talking about as I go along. I'll rough this all up too before I get too much further for when I glue this later. I want a whole bunch of glue getting over here because I don't want it coming out of my seam. Some's going to. Don't wipe it off, let it dry up the way it goes, and it'll clean up much better afterwards. I'm going to take this glue just around the corner over here. That stuff comes off pretty easy, just rub it a little bit. Take that piece out for now. And it's already starting to stick, but I'm still going to press it between my wood. When it comes to punches, I have 4s and 3s, and I'm just going to use the 4 and punch all the way down through. It's real thick leather, so I gotta hold it down when I'm pulling it out, or it'll pull all that glue apart. Now I'm right up on that point where that rivet is, so I'm going to go with a 3, and I'm just going to gain one more stitch by going in 2 of the holes that I've already made. And then just proceed down the other way. Now I'm going to put a rivet down here in the corner, so I'm only going to go 2 more holes, 1 more hole. Yeah, I'll go 1 more hole. 2 would be pushing it. And then from that, I'll just come straight across. And start my 3. And then go back to 4. And this is as far as I'm going to go right here. Before I do my stitches, I'm going to put this rivet in, just to help me hold things. Really wish I had a better punch than this makeshift one. Because it tears it up. Adds character, what can I say? I hope I have enough thread on my spool here to do this whole thing. You have to punch it through, pull out enough to go all the way around, and still have that same amount on that spool. I don't want to rip that off and waste it, so I'm going to do what I can do. I might just have to stop here and re-spool, but we'll see. Keep your thread going in the direction you're going. Go to your first hole and punch it through. Watch your fingers on the back. Start pulling that out. Hold on to your thread. See, it's kind of hard to do sometimes here. That first one, just to get it out of there. I have it. I want enough to come around that whole thing. I use a curved needle on the back. Makes it easier for me. I get all that pulled through. It's not actual thread, it's kind of catgut. Just make a little ball there so it doesn't pull back through my needle. Needle in one hand, material in the other. Keep short, tight lines, kind of like fishing. Force it just a little ways through my next hole, and I pull back to make a little loop here in the needle. Take my second needle, put it through so it loops it, pull it tight, pull it out and tighten it up. Holding both lines tight here, I'm going back in my next hole. Sometimes you'll see me rolling it backwards. Got it through, pull back to make a little loop. Through my loop. Holding it tight, pull back in. Use my thumb to stretch it tight, and then I'll go back in that next hole. Always rolling my line as tight as I can get it. Make my little loop. Pull it through. Retract the needle. Go to my next hole. Yeah, I stay close to my finger, you have to. Just gotta be careful not to catch your finger. Repeat this process all the way down.